This is Susan Riddle Pentland, and this is July 26th, 2004. And Floyd is here as the photographer, Floyd Clark Pentland, and we're going to walk through the house and give you an inventory and mention some of the history of the pieces in the house. And I'm going to start here with the wardrobe that I inherited from Mother when she passed away in 2001. And she had only had it for a few years because she had gotten it from the estate of her cousin, Josephine Wampler in Nomnoster. And it had been in Josephine's house, as far as I know, for decades. But the origins of it, according to family history, are that it was a wedding gift to John T. Gillum and Margaret A. Mays, who were married here in Johnson County on the 15th day of March, 1853. So as far as we know, it's as old as 1853. John T. Gillum had been born in Virginia on May 17, 1826, and Margaret A. Mays on March 1st, 1832 in Kentucky. And what we understand is that this was in their homes. It was a wedding piece, a gift, and it was in their home, which would have been about 1.5 miles north of Montserrat, probably until at some point Uncle George inherited it, which then passed to Josephine for an auction. And the one in the corner was from Grandmother's house. The cousins and I all remember it when it didn't look anything like this. It was dark, and later, in fact, was in terrible condition. But Grandma always had it in the upstairs hall with her old textbooks, and we all remember going up and laying on the floor and reading books from it. And Mother told me that Foster School gave it to Grandmother, I'm not sure, perhaps when she retired as principal. And my wishes would be that it someday go to the Historical Society, since it came from Foster School Society. And the one that's blue and white was made by Aunt Lina, Aunt Lina Gillum Gallagher, who was a charter member of the Johnson County Historical Society, and I think that would be the proper place for it to go for sure, for them to have it. One that, of course, Josephine would have had and then gave it to Mother, and in turn I have it. But Josephine said that the table had belonged to Keturah Gillum Gallagher. She was John A. Gallagher, the state geologist's first wife. She died in childbirth fever as a very young woman. And I think it is walnut, but the man that refinished it for us a few years ago said it was a little different kind of walnut than Grandmother's dresser or than the wardrobe is upstairs. But consequently, it makes it really a Warrensburg piece, and certainly my wishes are that the Historical Society has it, since it belonged to John A. Gallagher. Top here on the left, I know very little about it, other than that it was in Grandmother's classroom in Foster School when I was a student with her in 7th and 8th grade. It always set up on top of the cloakroom. And that was the one thing I really wanted when she passed away from the house after she passed away.